It's Monday, September 5th, and this is Drive Check, a Cardfight Vanguard podcast. The worst thing in the world, guys. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Ready.
When your mom gets further than you in the Vanguard anime Legion Mate season and texts you about something that happens in an episode you haven't seen, and you're like, Mom, could you please not do spoilers? And then you're like, why is my mom watching the Vanguard anime? Because she likes it, I guess. Even though she's only played Vanguard once when I made her. Oh... So, we have a couple of things to go over today, guys. Mostly because I play Vanguard and you guys have not had time to play Vanguard, which is kind of sad and disappointing.
It really is.
You don't even get to play with Carl. I remembered his name, Carl.
Yeah, no.
The card game king. I
haven't talked to him since Gen Con.
That's sad.
It's so sad. I've been so busy. I don't even have time to make a Lek and Logic deck. I just look at the cards and then I'm like, okay, now I gotta do my homework.
Doesn't have time for friends. That's disappointing.
Oh, and Jack's not doing his homework, but he's just not doing much of anything.
Oh, no, I am.
Do you have a lot of homework the second week of school already?
Nope. I have like one or two things. I have a lot of reading, but not really any actual like writing homework.
All right.
So,
well, I actually went to ARG States last night. Oh,
how was that?
Not good. Not so bueno. It started at 6:00 at night and went until 11. But I can't complain. That's not so bad. It's a holiday weekend, so it didn't kill me. Just the 45-minute drive to get there, and then the 45-minute drive home that late at night. But I brought a retooled Messiah deck. So I took out all of the Star Vader stuff.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Well, whatever. And it actually worked much better for me. It is a much more comfortable flow. I also made a few other changes in there. So my first round, I was against Great Nature, and the dude was just a Great Nature pro. So he was, he had his big bellies. He got his success off real fast. My second round...
He was a very successful Great Nature player.
There you go. My second round was against Great Nature, and I beat that guy, but he actually didn't have enough of the big belly stride to be that successful.
He wasn't as successful as the other guy.
He was one of the types of players that I've come across where... when I do something with the Link Jokers, they actually pick up the card and they're like, does it really do that? And I'm like, why, yes, it does. Because one trick that I hadn't realized, and I've been watching a couple of videos lately to educate myself some more about my own clan, is there's a key card in the Messiahs called Sacrifice Messiah, which I thought was kind of like gibberish, but it basically locks itself whenever any other card is locked. And one of the ways to think about that, where I had not been thinking about, the G Guardian for Link Jokers, Demon Maxwell, in order to get to 30,000, you have to lock one of your own cards. But in addition, you can lock... when you lock one of your own cards, you can then lock an Arrestor Messiah and give yourself another 3,000 defense from that. So, and if you have multiple Arrestor Messiahs out on the field, you can then continue the lock chain to power up your defense. And you start your turn with a bunch of locked cards. So if you're playing Amnesty or Exilix Messiah, they're all powered up and ready to go. So... That was cool. My third round, I played... Oh, this is when things... I was excited. I think, my third round is when I played Chaos Breaker deck, which should have been in my favor, but my draws were horrible. All night long, my draws were pretty bad. Anytime I drew triggers, they were to my hand or to my damage zone, so... That didn't work out too well. Then my fourth round was Tachikaze. And also, during my third round, during one of the games, I had to G assist. And then during one of the other games, my first draw, it was all triggers. So I had to completely mulligan my first hand, which is not a situation you want to be in.
Yeah, no, that's awful.
Yeah. And then I played Tachikaze's, and that guy was not having a lot of luck, but he kind of did a rush on me where, like, when I went to take that first damage, like, literally every time he pulled a crit trigger.
Oh, God.
That's exactly what you don't want. And then my final match was against my coworker Alan and his Murakumos, and we went to time. I still beat him, but we actually could have, if he had done his final play a different way, we would have been a draw. So that's as much as it was. So I won 2 out of 3. I realized that Dark Metal Chameleon and Waking Messiah just aren't doing anything for me in that deck, so I need to move them out.
Well, that's always what those tournaments are good for, is just kind of help figure out what your deck needs and what it doesn't need.
Well, that's
and also what was that last clan you played against? What were they called?
Murakumo. Whatever. So, one thing to learn too, right? Like, for people who can play constantly every day or have that like a very frequent opportunity to play, that's what they do, is they find out which cards aren't pulling their weight and they can tune their deck better. I only get to play maybe 2 or 3 times a week, so that's why I lag behind a little bit, or at least that's going to be my excuse.
Guess how many times I've played this week?
0?
Yep. Stop complaining.
Oh. We got to get you in with that Southern California Vanguard League and have you get you to some matches and some stuff. And Cole, you got the Luck and Logic booster expansion, right?
Yep.
That was your most exciting dealie.
Yeah,
So guess what? We actually have an errata this week, Jack.
What?
Cole is blameless, but we should be ashamed.
Okay.
Remember when we went over the Puerto Rican regionals?
Yes.
And we were making fun of the Kagero clan name because it was like Helen's Toolbox.
Yes.
Well, actually, one of the top European players, her name is Hélène Bourret, and she designed a Kagero deck, which the Puerto Rican player had basically borrowed her deck build. And so it was named in her honor. I watched some videos with her. She's really, really cool. And I think it's great that there is actually a female Vanguard player who is really good to be a top player in Europe. So that was our error. And yes, you can find, if you look, her name is spelled Helene, and the last name is Bourree. You can find some YouTube videos and interviews that were done with her. She's really cool, and learn about some Kagero builds from her, because Jack, you need to learn, obviously.
I'm obviously a master of Kagero, so
you should be mortified. Oh, so this is episode 26, but we're going to pull a 25 on people. We're having a fun episode. That's why Cole's here.
Woo!
Cole's our Mr. Fun Guy. Just like Amoonguss and Fungus. Oh, wait, this isn't a Pokemon. I don't know real fungus names. Just like a little mushroom down in the basement. That's our Cole McCune. So, but stealing from Pokemon, a while ago on Pokemon Podcast, I did what's known as the 3-hour episode. This episode will not be 3 hours, folks.
Oh, I'll make sure it is.
No, you got to get to the beach. We are recording on the Labor Day holiday, and we have each chosen 5 clans for whatever reason, because they're our favorite clan, or we think that they're an important clan to the game. And we are going to debate so we can make a list of a top 10 according to Drive Check Podcast clans in the game. So this is going to be interesting because we each selected 5, but we have to come up with a top 10, or as close to a top 10 as we can. It'll be really funny if we each have the same 5, and then it will also be very short.
Hey,
Which is
that'll
great,
make it easy.
because that'll make it easier for me to edit, and I won't be up all night on Tuesday taking out all of Jack's swears. So the way that we have organized this is that we have a Google Doc that has a table, and each column one is for Jack, one is for me, and one is for Cole. And
wait, who's Cole? I thought he was like a tiny little mouse.
no, he's a mushroom.
Mushroom. No, okay, never mind.
Oh,
I don't know. Does it matter?
Okay.
It says at the top of the column. Anyways, as we go through this, we will type in what our selections are. And we'll each do one at a time, filling it in, and then we will go through some rounds to fight about what should be in the top 10 and what should not be in the top 10. And then we will hopefully end up by ranking. So folks listening at home, you may hear some keyboard clicks. I will have to allow them this time as people type in what their selections are. So why don't we start with old Mr. Cole, since could you oh Lord. So somebody renamed themselves Chipmunk, but they misspelled it, and they called Cole Mushroom, and they called me Supreme Overlord William, which is actually correct. So why don't we have Mushroom go first?
okay.
And type in one of the clans that you have
There you go. Cool.
selected.
All right. I am gonna choose Grand
This is-
Blue.
This is in no particular order, correct? It's just
That is
one of
correct,
our-
and
okay.
probably be strategic, because if we think that you have an order, we'll know which ones of yours to attack to have
Okay.
you remove them from the list if necessary.
Okay.
All right, Chipmunk.
All right. I got. It's gonna surprise some people. Gold Paladin.
Pal, like your friend?
Paladin. Like they're paladins that are gold.
I don't even know what a paladin is.
Specifically
That's like a
Ezel.
dude. I don't
Like the
understand why
Ezel
Mushroom put it in their second square rather than their first square, but
Because Mushroom just clicked.
that's all right. You're a happy clicker. My first one is going to be Oracle Think Tank.
Ooh.
Who saw that coming?
Okay. Mushroom, round 2.
Okay. Dark E Reg
I believe in you, Mushroom. You can do it.
Darkers. Darker
Okay.
regulars.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm gonna go and just put it in a random spot. Next
Why not?
up, we got
Happy clicking here.
Spike Brothers.
Who saw that one coming too?
Spike
Wow.
Bros. Ugh. All right. I am going to go with Genesis.
Oh.
Shocker.
Hey, Will, guess what my next clan was gonna be?
I would guess
Genesis.
Tachikaze.
No, it's Genesis.
Ah.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. I already spelled it on the page, so you could really just literally just copy what I already wrote. For those listening at home, Mushroom has written Genissis because he's
Mushroom had a long
secretly
day.
a terror organization.
All
All right, Jack.
Next up, we got the OG Bermuda Triangle.
Triangles.
Triangle.
We get to see how bad we type. Yeah.
Yeah, I get to see. The listener at home is not going to see anything. All right, is it my
Will could be
turn
lying
again?
about us. Yes, it is.
I'm gonna pick. Now, this one may be a bit of a surprise for you all. Mega Colony.
Okay, just get rid of it now. We don't need it.
All right,
I almost put them on my list.
there
No,
you go.
That's not going to make the top 10.
I have
Okay.
I have reasons why Mega Colony is in there.
Except if we have 2 duplicates. If we have enough duplicates, everything will make the top 10. Anyways, go ahead, Mushroom.
Mushroom puts Dimension Police.
Well, we know that's not making the top 10. Maybe we'll just do a top 5 to make this competitive. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to fight anything out.
Next up, we got Shadow Paladins.
Oh, I thought you were going to write Shady Penguins.
No. That
Good
was
old
6th
Shady.
place. That was close.
All right.
Go ahead, Supreme Overlord.
I've got to come up with another one?
Yeah, you got 2 more.
I wouldn't know what else
Obviously, Link Joker.
to put in. No gears.
Ooh, you almost had me there.
Ew. What if I said Shady Penguins?
Oh,
Really?
Ooh,
Yes.
I like you. All right, Mushroom, your 5th and
Mushroom,
final.
last call.
Solid golds.
Yes. Here we go.
I don't know golds. What is
All right,
golds?
Gold. Paladino.
Jack.
You all know what it is.
Don't even. The Flames of the Apocalypse. That's not a clan. All right.
The Flames of the Epoch. I spelled that wrong.
We know
did?
that you mean the Kageros. Kageros.
Kage.
It's also hard to pronounce. My last one, of course, is going to be Link Joker.
Alrighty.
All right. So who do we have that got 2 votes each? We have Gold Paladins.
Shadow Paladins and Genesis.
So those are top contenders.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right. So let's talk for a minute about folks that did not make the list at all. Royal Paladins. Why doesn't
Yeah.
anybody like them?
I feel they're overrated personally.
I played them and I used to really want to play them, and then I played them and I was like, well, this is boring and I don't like them.
And
They're wannabe Gold Paladins.
well, I mean, they were the
They're
Paladins.
third place. They're third place in the Paladin race. I'm a poet, and I didn't even know I was rhyming those words.
Wow. All right. So Kagero did make it. So that's Royals and Kagero are the original 2.
Yes.
So then, what other clans do we have that we didn't make?
Aquaforce didn't make it. That was almost on my list.
Well, let's go in order by the nations. All right.
Okay, that's
So,
Angel Feathers.
Angel Feathers. That's strange. Angel Feathers
Oh.
AF, man.
Yeah, dang. I really like Angel Feathers too.
Do you need to,
Well,
do you
you
need to
should have put
change
them
one
on
of yours?
No. I'm gonna
All right.
keep it.
We actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 from United Sanctuary that made it.
I mean,
Well-
they do have the most clans in
Yeah.
United Sanctuary, so that's understandable.
Well, by 1. All right, Dragon Empire only got Kagero, so Narukami.
Eh.
They're like Kagero, but not as good as Kagero.
Tachikaze.
I do like Tachikaze, but I didn't feel like they were top 5 material.
Yeah.
If I had ever played Tachikaze, they probably would be on my list, but they're just dinosaurs with guns.
Which
They're
is
not.
sweet.
Murakumo.
I should have put this on my list just to hear Will say it more than
Oh,
once
Lord.
in this episode.
I didn't put it because I hate to pronounce it. And Shadow Stitch, if you guys haven't played against Shadow Stitch yet, is just rotten. I hate Shadow Stitch. You're sitting there looking at a card and you're like, I have got to take this attack because I cannot deal with the consequences of it not hitting.
I like that concept too. It would have been on my list, but 5.
Nubatama?
Meh.
Do they even get support anymore?
They're the same as Murakumo. They don't need a separate discussion.
All right, from the Dark Zone, Pale Moon did not make it, but I think
Nope.
that's probably mostly because none of us really play Pale Moon.
I always forget Pale Moon's even a clan, so there's
No,
that.
I never forget Pale Moon's a clan. It's just I have no attraction for it whatsoever.
I don't like clowns.
And well, it's funny because you are one. I'll
All
love
right.
you,
Burn, bro.
Cole.
Salt.
Just kidding. Gear Chronicle. No, I think we just all have universal hate for the big bros right now.
Not really hate, just no love.
But you know, I've been thinking about it, and what Gear Chronicle is going through right now is pretty much the same thing Link Jokers did when they first came out. They were in every set once they
Right.
came out to get them that catch up.
But did Link Joker had like a main concept, I guess. Like the whole clan was built around the locking, and Gear Chronicle is on the timely, but I feel like it's not as what's the word? Not intrusive, but annoying, I guess.
Oh,
As
have you ever
locking
played against Gear Chronicle? It's very annoying.
once.
It's very
Once.
annoying. When they
Yeah.
can combo off like 10 time leaps in one turn and they have a hand of like 15 cards, it's really annoying.
Do we need to put Gear Chronicle on the list?
No, because I don't like playing against them.
All right, so out of Megalanica, Aquaforce is the only one that didn't make it, but they've only got
Almost
3.
made my list. Yeah. Not
All right.
quite.
For the Zoo Nation, Great Nature, Neo Nectar didn't make it. Great Nature, nah. It just does
Yeah.
nothing for me. The art on the card just actually
They're
puts me off.
they're already successful enough. They don't need to be on our list.
Lord. Neo Nectar, though.
I always forget they're a clan too.
I don't. I was going to build Neo Nectar at some point. At one
Did
point.
you?
No, I never did.
Well, there you
What is
there's your
what is
answer.
their main mechanic? Do we even know?
Well,
Copying.
copying the names, right? And then you
Yeah.
get bonuses based off the same names. That's just the Asha stuff, isn't it? Or is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
So they have that really cool dragon. You can have 16 copies of it in your deck.
But it's not good, unfortunately.
I don't care. That's an awesome ability.
All right.
What if
so-
that were a GR and you had to get 16 of them?
Oh, talk about money. All right. So, Cole, I'm a little surprised because Stargate Nation only has 3, but you did not select Nova Grappler.
I'm not huge on Nova Grappler. Really, the only subclan or archetype of Nova Grappler I like are the Blouse. Victor doesn't do anything for me because I'm not I like Gurren Lagann, but I don't love it. But because that's
All right.
what the whole Victor thinks.
So I keep looking at Gurren Lagann. I don't like the art style.
It's so good. It's so good. Will.
Is it a really good
Will.
story?
It's my favorite anime.
it is pretty good, but
Wait.
My favorite anime.
halfway
it's so
through
good.
it completely changes gears, and it's almost like you're watching a completely different show. But
That's
still really
okay,
good.
'cause it's
So
so
it's
good.
even better than Sword Art Online?
Oh, way better.
God.
That's hard to
better.
believe. I mean, Sword Art Online is real good.
I thought you didn't like it though.
No, I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
It's way better.
Gurren's. I honestly,
All
think
right,
it's
I will watch it after I finish watching Do Ra Ra Ra. Oh,
Okay.
which is real good. Oh,
All right,
man.
and then the kind of straggler clans, we had Entranje,
That does not count.
then we had Cray Elemental, doesn't really count either. But then
Token Rainbow,
Ranbu.
which
I think that could have counted,
I think it could.
yeah,
but none of us put it on our lists.
because none of us care about it, and they haven't
I've
had their
thought
full
about
set
building
yet,
it.
Yeah, thought about it.
or they haven't had
Okay.
their next release yet. So it's been a while since Token Rainbow has been out there. All right,
I have a proclamation to make. I say we be weird and go for top 7, because
Okay.
if we go for top 10, that's going to be too this is going to be too hard to get rid of stuff. But if we do top 5, we have three clans with 2 votes each, so those 3 are obviously going to make it, and then we're going to argue for the last 2 spots. So I think 7's a nice middle ground.
all right.
I
So what I was going to propose is, since we have 3 clans that each got 2 votes each,
Yep.
we should rank those in 1, 2, and 3 since they've already got support from 2 people.
Yep.
So, who is going to take number 1? Gold Paladin, Shadow Paladin, or Genesis? From my point of view, and I am the Supreme Overlord, I would say there's no chance that Genesis is going to be number 1.
I think Gold Paladin should be number 1.
I agree with both of those.
So I would say Shadow Paladin because Shadow Paladin has that long history of the game. I mean, it came before the Gold Paladins, and it's still formidable. And
who do you like better, Aichi Sendo or Ren Suzugimori?
Ren Suzugimori.
Can't even pronounce his name.
Ren Suzugimori.
Okay, so Gold Paladins should be number 1 first off because they were played by Aichi Sendo.
So
and because Blonde Ezel.
Well, I would say they should be number 1 because they were my first clan, and I also think that they're probably one of the easiest to learn.
That's also a good point.
What makes them easy to learn?
Like
their mechanics.
Their mechanic isn't too complicated, and I looked at other clans and what people were doing with them, and it was just so confusing. But for me, Gold Paladins were simple. Just call your guys, check the top X amount of cards, and call one of those. It was really simple and easy for me to get down that.
So it's a kiddie clan. Oh, wait, that's right.
Intro.
A little kid in the anime is currently playing Gold Paladins.
It's had main character support for both G era and original Vanguard.
Well, ever since the second season, since Asia Circuit. So
yes, but okay, let's think of it like this. Aichi played Royal Paladins for 1 season. He played Gold Paladins for 2.
Because he doesn't play anything at all during.
No. He plays Royal Paladin Season 1. Season 2, he plays Gold Paladins. Season 3, he plays Liberator Gold Paladins.
Yes, and then Season 4, he doesn't play anything at all because everybody's forgotten who
he plays Link Joker.
What?
Spoiler alert.
Oh, spoiler alert. Just kidding.
Oh, no! Oh, you've ruined it for me. Oh, you're worse than my mom. Oh.
If it makes you feel better, well, I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, but you're such a weeaboo. You just love only really good anime, and you can't deign to watch the Vanguard one. So, all right, Gold Paladin will go in slot number 1. I think I'm okay with that, just because you're right. It is the easy entry point. It's an easier entry point than Royal Paladins, and people get excited for the game when they can play Gold Paladins well, and it's got sufficient versatility that it lends itself to a lot of situations. Basically, because it's just like build up huge power and attack. And let's not be too crafty. Let's just hit them hard, right?
Yeah.
Swarm and hit them hard.
All right. So I believe Anonymous Hippo is in. I'm sorry, Chipmunk. I don't know. Who are you now?
Chipmunk.
I'm Chipmunk.
I know. I'll type it in. All right. Gold Paladin is going to be our number 1.
Yep.
The number 2 slot, then, I think really should go to Shadow Paladins.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that, too.
So now, I
have a question for you, Will.
Uh-huh.
If you don't even think... You started this out by stating you don't think Genesis should be number 1. Do you think they should even be in the top 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think so, but okay.
I'll have my reason why. But I will give number 2 to Shadow Paladin, mostly because I'm looking to expand the number of clans I play, and Shadow Paladin, it was either going to be Shadow Paladin or Gear Chronicle. And
it seems like you've chosen a side at this point.
Looks like I'm going down the path of Shadow Paladin because in watching Legion Mate, one of the main bad guys, I don't know what you want to call them. I haven't seen it long enough to know if they're bad guys or good guys. But she plays the Shadow Paladin witches, which kind of do like a... I don't know if it's like a reverse time leap effect, but they change. You have to swap out your rear guards for grade 0s.
Yep.
So I kind of like that. That looked really cool to me. But the Shadow Paladin mechanic, right? You sacrifice your own rear guards to
get an effect.
To get an effect. Similar to Tachikaze, but I think a little more refined than Tachikaze.
Yeah.
So with Tachikaze, you eat your rear guards to gain effects, which is the same as sacrificing them.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just more malicious than Shadow Paladins. It's an honorable sacrifice for the greater good of the clan. Tachikaze, they're just eating each other because they're dinosaurs.
They're selfish, horrible dinosaurs. And I was actually talking to the Tachikaze player last night because with Exilix Messiah, you retire any of the locked cards, and I wasn't sure, and I didn't need to ask a judge because it didn't come up, but probably need some clarification. Right, with Tachikaze, there are effects that go off when cards are retired, and I didn't know if, because I think it unlocks them before it retires them. So do they still get those effects, those on-retire effects, like returning to the hand or something like that? So that's an interesting question, and it would also apply to Shadow Paladins if they have any effects that go off on retire, because then I don't want to use Exilix Messiah anymore against them. All right. So we're going to give the number 3 slot to Genesis at this point in time.
I have a question, though.
Yes, sir.
Do we really want all top 3 spots to be taken up by United Sanctuary clans?
Yes.
Or should we get something else in there and make Genesis number 4?
No, because Shadow Paladin isn't really a United Sanctuary clan.
They most definitely are a United Sanctuary clan.
No. Shadow Paladin actually belong in the Dark Zone, but they're just like hanging out in United Sanctuary.
No, because they're played by a protagonist in the second season. Ren becomes a protagonist.
That has nothing to do with anything. They're evil and they belong in the Dark Zone.
Genesis are evil.
So, Cole, why did you pick Genesis?
I picked Genesis because a couple months ago, I guess it's longer than a couple months, but when I was looking and reading through like the Regalia stuff, just because I was looking for another clan to play, and I really liked it, the art and how it was based off of more Nordic, because apparently that's like a fad that I've seen go around this last couple months, is more Nordic gods and folktales. But anyway, and then I saw Fenrir, and Fenrir just looked so cool with how purple and blue he was, and I thought, hey, I've played against a Fenrir deck before, and I liked how it shuffled everything back in. Let me make that. And then I've just been looking into it, and then all the new support that's coming out has just got me incredibly excited to build this deck.
So do you know what Fenrir is?
He is
in the real world.
In the real world, as in the Nordic mythology.
Yes.
He was he's the eater of worlds or something. He's a giant wolf who was shackled by the fetters or something.
And then, during the end of the world, Ragnarok, he comes free and becomes a destroyer.
Yes.
Did you also know that I have a tattoo of the wolf Fenrir on my right shoulder?
You've told me about it.
Yes.
I didn't have my glasses in, so I couldn't see it.
Okay, well then we can't not put Genesis at number 3.
Obviously, Genesis has to be number 3. My real reason for why I like Genesis as number 3 is because from the start of Vanguard, you had the 2 big clans, Kagero and Royal Paladins. And obviously, we've decided that Royal Paladins was kind of a false start and has been superseded by Gold Paladins.
Yes.
I think, Oracle Think Tank was that third clan for, I hate to say, but, I think people will understand when I do say, the hipsters who didn't want to play the big 2 and they wanted a clan for themselves. But we also know Oracle Think Tank has been superseded by Genesis.
Most definitely.
And
as just gonna butt in here, I don't think Oracle Think Tank should even be on the top 7, since considering we have Genesis.
We aren't at that point yet.
I'm just saying, get rid of it. Get rid of it.
You can't start voting things down until
I
we've
just did.
finished. Wow. Who are you, Will Anderson? I don't think so. At least not yet. Oh, Lord. Supreme Overlord Chipmunk. Wow. Anyways, I think that the Genesis clan, the support that it's getting, the mechanic that it represents is a really cool sort of integration of Dark Irregulars, Soul Building, which is, Dark Irregulars and Pale Moon, with some other skills. And so I think it's just, it holds a place in my heart also because it's got that primary character in the show that is just not the power player, but the person that you can empathize with. For me, it means I'm playing Vanguard for fun. I'm not playing Vanguard to be a dominator. And I think that's a key thing that we all need to hold on to when we play, that we remember that we're actually playing for fun and because we enjoy this game and not because we need to win at all costs and dominate everything. Do you still have counter arguments, Jack?
Nope. As long as OTT doesn't make top 7, I'm good with that.
All right. So Jack and Cole, Jack and Will, Cole and Will. What an interesting how balanced we are in the top 3.
I noticed that earlier.
I will give Jack first opportunity so we're going to do 2 different rounds, but the first round, Jack, you can pick one of somebody else's clans that you would like to see removed, and then the person whose clan that is can make a counter argument, and then whoever is the person where it's not their clan can decide which argument was the most persuasive to either put the clan on the potential to be removed list or whether the clan should stay for further consideration. All right?
Yeah, let's see here.
Why are you erasing and retyping things?
I'm fixing it. I don't know
Except
why
you misspelled it.
I got it. I was
All
copying
right.
Sir Mushroom the Third. All right. So let's see here. I think that we should get rid of... Well, you already know my stance on OTT. I feel like that's too easy, and I should save that for later.
Well, if you need to play strategy, play strategy.
I think Mega Colony needs to go.
Ooh. Okay, so the reason that I put Mega Colony, and I actually do have a reason, is Mega Colony, which a lot of people don't realize, was in BTO1. So the very first booster set that was possible. So it is among the oldest of the clans in Vanguard.
Also among the stupidest.
No. It is, from my consideration, and I could be wrong, but I'm just kind of going from memory of what was in BTO1. It was the first control clan, right? So the basic mechanic of Mega Colony was preventing your opponent's rear guards from being able to stand when it got to their turn. And so it is the precursor to Link Jokers because it's the first control clan that was out there. And I just wanted to see, and of course, in the latest release, the latest technical booster, all the Mega Colony stuff has really ramped up. So they've gotten some real support to be a really clan that you actually now have to consider that people are going to bring to competitions and potentially use. Especially the particular stride that means... I think it's a stride where it prevents your opponent from calling any cards to rearguard circles. Yeah, real entertaining right there. So I just think that it has informed what a control deck would look like in Vanguard from the very beginning. And given its... that it should have a place of honor because of that. And they haven't given up on it like they say have given up on other potential clans that we could be talking about here.
Well,
all right.
Well,
So, Cole, you get to pick between.
wait, whoa! I haven't even said anything.
Well, you
about
should have
Mega
made
Colony.
that when you first made your claim of why it should
No,
be
no,
removed.
no. Mega Colony needs to be removed. First off, you said it yourself. They're just a precursor to Link Joker. Link Joker does what Mega Colony does, and they do it better than Mega Colony. And they don't have stupid bug artwork like Mega Colony does.
Beetleborgs? Beetleborgs
also-
aren't stupid.
Set 1, Mega Colony had 4 cards in set 1, so you can't really call them an OG clan, considering that they were not a playable deck until then. I don't remember what set it was, but they were not a playable. And I forget the guy that played him in the anime, but he was a coward, and he was not a good character at all to play like a clan.
He was like a
But-
creepy guy.
With the
Yeah, he
glasses.
was a creepy guy
Yeah.
that was not a good character. I did not like that character at all. And I think in set 1, the first really control deck would most definitely, that award would most definitely have to go to Kagura, because they in the early meta they were all about retiring your opponent's units, so they didn't have those units to do things with and really build advantage over your opponent. Mega Colony, first of all, didn't really even have a deck in set 1, and second of all, just keeping them from attacking isn't as controlling as getting rid of their resources entirely.
All right, Cole?
This is my opinion on Mega Colony.
No, you have to vote. Does it
Vote?
stay or does it go? Based on the
I'm-
persuasive arguments of either Jack or Will.
I'm gonna say it's gonna go.
All right.
Ha-ha. Get out of here, you stupid bugs. I squashed you.
Even
And,
though I said Beetleborgs numerous times.
I understand that, and I would love to play them, but I think Jack's argument made more sense.
All right, I have to.
Also, I have a tattoo of a... No,
Would you stop? You have no tattoos. You're such like a pejorative word for a human being that I can't think of right now.
oh.
Better find that burn heal. Okay.
All right.
All right.
So
So,
now
Cole,
turn.
you get to pick somebody else's to remove now.
It's a very unpopular decision, but I want to get rid of Bermuda Triangle.
All right. Jack,
Wait,
make your
so do
counter
I-
argument
do I
why
defend
Bermuda
first or
Triangle
does
needs to
he-
be on the list.
Does he go first or do I go first? Did I
You go
just screw that
first.
up? Okay.
Since that's the format you set.
Okay. Okay, so Bermuda Triangle. First of all, we've heard plenty times about why Will likes Bermuda Triangle. They were also the first deck that I ever played. They were what got me into the Cardfight Vanguard game itself. So I think that holds some water, pun intended, on why they should be in the top list. They're also a very popular clan that a lot of people like. No, I don't judge those kinds of people that play Bermuda Triangle. I don't judge you. You can play them. And so I think for that reason, I think just they get support every year, and they are kind of a mainstay. They are kind of like a signature thing that the Cardfight Vanguard game has is Bermuda Triangle, and I think that's why they should be on the list.
All right, Cole.
Okay. Now my argument seems kind of pointless, but personally, there's nothing about them that appeals to me. Although I do like that they are reliably in one set per year. I also don't like that they're only in that one set per year. Not counting like Fighters Collection and stuff like that. The art's pretty and all, but the whole all-girl clan doesn't do anything for me. And frankly, little weirded out when I'm looking through my friend's binders for trades, and then they've got just these massive pages dedicated to Bermuda Triangles. And because they all look so young, I feel a little weird, like flipping through it, just personally. And I have yet to play a game against a Bermuda Triangle person. Everyone in this shop has a deck, but no one ever plays it. And that might be just because they were getting tired of it because it's been so long since the last set had come out. But I have yet to play against a Bermuda Triangle deck, so I have no idea what their mechanics really look like when you're playing them. I could be wrong, but just nothing about them seems enjoyable to me personally.
Well,
Okay.
ultimately, the vote comes to Will Anderson, and I am going to vote in favor of Bermuda Triangles. I think that Jack is right in a way that they are iconic of the game. They have that annual. It's something to look forward to, and it really caps off a sort of a year of Vanguard when the Bermuda set comes out. So it's more than just the art. It's more than just the mechanic. It's just something. I'm going to say it's actually tradition. It has become tradition to celebrate the Bermuda Triangles and their role in the world of Vanguard. So we will put them on the buy list so that they potentially can be considered for the top 7 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
Will,
That
it's
was
all
great.
you.
That was a great argument, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
all right.
Gotta support the salty neckbeards of the world.
I have to vote for Spike Brothers to go.
Oh, that hurts. Okay. Well,
Defend, sir. Defend.
I have to defend twice in a row. Give me a break.
Technically,
Dude, you're
Well,
a college boy now. Come
I'll
on.
say it-
Time
I'll say
to
it-
put on the big
I'll
boy
say it
pants.
as it is. I'll say it as it is. Spike Brothers, while they are not on everyone's radar as like one of those clans that a bunch of people enjoy, there is a small group of people that really enjoy the Spike Brother clan, and they have really enjoyed the Spike Brother clan. They've had they were like known as like the first kind of outer ring clan to actually have been able to make it to the top tables with their original Dudley build, and then again with the Dudley Bad End Break Ride build, and then again with the Legion Break Ride build. So they've had a place at the top tables of a lot of Vanguard tournaments, which is a first for kind of like one of those outer clans that never really get support, and yet they still managed to make it to the top tables and be super competitive with that. They were also my first actual deck that I played, and I still have a lot of those cards from that original deck. So personally, I just really enjoy Spike Brothers. And also, they represent something that's kind of unrepresented in Vanguard, which is a sort of Western theme of football, which is like more of a Western idea than any of the other clans really have. It's a lot of like, I don't know, like in the Japanese culture of like anime, you kind of have the token like football kind of westernized idea to kind of bring in that audience and kind of make it more relatable for people that are not always into anime, I suppose. I guess that's it.
So my counter argument would be probably the only high school in Japan in the world where they have a football team, an American football team, is the one that Aichi Sendo went to, Miyagi Academy. All right, because that
It
is
wasn't
just
a team; it was a club.
a football club. Yes,
football
but they had
club.
the pads and everything. I don't know who they were fighting against. I respect Spike Brothers. I respect the fact that they are one of the OG original clans, but much in the way of a lot of the clans that we have already talked about and rejected from this list, they just appeal to a minority crowd. They don't provide you with a strong representation of what Vanguard is. They appeal to small folks. Yeah, I mean, they could be winning decks, but it's just not anything that a lot of people have grown to love and identify with the game. And I can guarantee you there are people who have played, maybe new people who have played and getting started in Vanguard and have played for 3 or 4 months and have never heard of Spike Brothers and have no idea what they are. They really only appeal to a niche crowd. And, you know, you can be cool and niche, and being niche means that you're not in the top 7. So that's why I just don't think that Spike Brothers belongs on this list. All right, Cole?
I agree with Will.
Okay,
All right.
that hurts, but I'm okay with that. That's an understandable decision.
Spike Brothers get the Strike Brothers.
Oh God.
I got that wrong. Oops. All right, so for our next round, and we will start with you, Jack, again.
Okay.
You have to pick somebody or a clan from somebody else's that you would be in favor of
Okay.
adding to the list. It can't be one of your own.
Okay.
And the whoever whoever is it's not their clan and they're not the person picking gets to immediately decide whether they're in favor or against.
I think Link Joker should make the top 7.
Agreed.
There you go.
All right. So why do you think Link Joker should make top 7? This is not high school. We have to be expository here.
Well, first of all, they were on my top. Originally, I thought we were doing top 10, so I made a top 10 list. They were on my top 10 just because they have a really cool mechanic. They are really the first like total control kind of build. If you've ever played against a Link Joker deck, you know how controlling they are and how tough it is to really play against it. And they're just like they were really the I guess Shadow Paladins was the first true antagonist deck, but like Link Joker was an antagonist clan and still is largely an antagonist clan, even though there's the Messiah build that's played by a protagonist. I think they're still largely an antagonist clan. That's what they were made to be, and I think that's something that we need to include in the list because like Shadow Paladins were an antagonist clan, and then right after first season they switched to being a protagonist clan, and Link Joker have kind of really never strayed away from what they were created to be.
So the reason I selected Link Joker, besides the fact that they are my core clan that I play right now, one reason was they are the clan that got me back into playing Vanguard. You know, it was literally that chance encounter at Third Eye Games in Annapolis and seeing the Link Joker trial deck and picking it up and playing it that made me remember how much I love playing Vanguard and actually now putting time and effort into not only playing Vanguard, but sharing my love of Vanguard and really joining the community again. But one of the other more important reasons why I think Link Joker needs to be on the list is because even as an individual clan, it has so many different versatile builds that are very distinctly different from each other.
That's
that
also
people with different play styles can all pick up Link Joker and sort of craft it to their own, find whichever of those versions of Link Joker works best for them. So, they have deleters, which, maybe people aren't playing so much anymore. But deleters have that specific mechanic of removing the text of the Vanguard card. And then they also do locking. They also have an alternate win condition. Then you have the Starvaders, and there's multiple ways to play Starvaders. You can do a Chaos Breaker build on Starvaders. You can do a Glendios build on Starvaders. And that is all geared around locking your opponent and not locking yourself so much. So really just locking down your opponent's field and then doing your damage and power from that. And then you have the Messiahs, which, I have taken and I'm learning and growing with. And Messiahs are really geared around locking your own field and then getting the power and power-ups from doing that. And yes, of course, you do still lock things on your opponent's field, but the real focus is lock yourself, and then when you unlock, you gain power from that, and you gain the multiple waves of attacks from unlocking, which it was really funny to me. When I was playing Alan, of all people, last night, he called the judge over to question whether when something unlocks, if it unlocks as stand or if it unlocks as rested. And oh boy, it unlocks as stand. No question about that. All right. So, Cole, do you have anything to say about Link Joker? Why you're in favor of it?
They were going to be on. They were going to be on my list too, honestly, because I know it takes so much skill in order to play Link Joker, and especially the Messiahs, because you're locking and unlocking your own, and you have to do it in a certain order and a certain amount that have to be locked and unlocked. I have tremendous respect for people who can play that. And then also, they're pretty much a household name in the Vanguard world. The clan in general, if it's Messiahs or Chaos Breakers, everybody knows them if they've been playing long enough. and I think that they're honestly probably number 4 worthy
All
of the
right.
top 7.
Cool. And that's nice of you to say that you have tremendous respect for me.
I do.
All right, Cole. Who would you pick?
The Flames of the Apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
Kagero.
Yeah, and I would pick them
Interesting.
because lately they're such a household name again, and their support that they've gotten with the Legend deck and the G Guardians is pretty insane, and I like playing against them. What else? Let's see. I think that they're probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest, clans at the moment, especially the Overlord
And
toolkit.
Jack, why do you love Kagero so much?
They're my favorite. And, also, I think Kagero, just kind of unlike Aichi, who played Royal Paladins and then switched to Gold Paladins and never went back to Royal Paladins. Kai went to Kagero, switched to Narukami, then went back to Kagero, then went back to Royal Paladin, then went back to Kagero. So he always comes back to Kagero. And Toshiki Kai is just such a he's such an important character to the franchise as a whole. He's transcended the concept of just being in the original series or just being in G series. He's been in both of them, and he's been an important character in both of them. And I think the Flames of the Apocalypse just represent him as a character and his personality and his passion for the game of Cardfight Vanguard that is really important to the game as a whole.
All right, I will actually support including Kagero on the list because it is, once again, one of those BTO 1 clans, but out of all of the BTO 1 clans, Kagero is the one that has stayed strongest through all time. Yes, we may complain about the amount of support that Bushiroad gives to Kagero, but I will almost make it equivalent to Gold Paladins, that it's not so necessarily so easy to pick up, but it is something that people can pick up and learn to play, and it just brings people in to playing Vanguard because of the attraction to the big fiery dragons and the power of what Kagero can do. And then it's maybe you start with Gold Paladins, and then Kagero can be your number 2, and then you can stay with Kagero if you truly love it and learn those mechanics and the chaining of the different things that Kagero can do. And I absolutely feel, out of all of the BTO 1 clans, the Kagero has become the most iconic. Just as, even it's really funny. Like, everybody appreciates that Aichi Sendo is the savior of the world, blah blah. Toshiki Kai is the one that we all identify with, as he is the player. He never got any magic psyqualia. He is just the one who has played Vanguard, has devoted his heart and his life to it, and has remained important to it. So absolutely, I think Kagero is iconic and belongs on the list. So
alrighty,
I will give you that. All right, so I have to pick
between Dark Irregulars, Grand Blue, and Dimension, please.
we have nothing left to pick off of Jack's list because he got everything on there.
Well, to be fair, 2 other people supported, and right. Spike Brothers are gone. So
yeah, well, that's how it works.
Yep.
So out of those, Cole, I'm going to have to pick Grand Blue.
To get rid of or to keep?
To keep. No, we're on the I vote for.
Okay. I was like,
okay. And my reason for promoting Grand Blue is I think it has.
You don't have to say anything. You just say Team Handsome, and that's it.
Not even that, because they're not that handsome.
They're so handsome that they named their team after the fact that they are handsome.
Sure.
Like, we could be Team Handsome, but we're not as handsome as them.
Oh, I am certainly not handsome in any way, shape, or form. But the reason I love Grand Blue, I need to increase the volume on Cole's groan there because that was hilarious. The reason I have selected Grand Blue is because they have a mechanic that is completely unique to them in the toolboxing the drop zone and restoring things from the drop zone. And once again, you could say, oh, well, Angel Feather does milling and toolboxing of damage. But I think, once again, Grand Blue has it's a BTO1 clan, and it has that history, and it has always stayed strong throughout time of being iconic for having that very unique of toolboxing the drop zone, calling things out of the drop zone, putting them back. And for me, as a Link Joker player, I give a lot of respect to Grand Blue because they are able to mess around with my skills by making sure that their rear guards stay empty until they need to fill the rear guards, and then they empty the rear guards again. So I don't have a lot to play with for locking down their side and taking advantage of those types of effects and everything. So I definitely appreciate Grand Blue's place in this list.
Also, just to kind of piggyback on what Will said about the Link Joker matchup for Grand Blue, Kagero has the exact same problem because Kagero enjoys retiring things and Grand Blue enjoys having their things retired. So it's just kind of like a difficult. You almost have to change your whole play style for that one matchup, and I think that's just really cool for something to have in a card game.
So Cole, why did you select Grand Blue?
Well, thank you for those compliments. I appreciate them.
Oh, they weren't about you, sir.
They were about the clan.
No, except the handsome ones. Those were definitely about you.
Jack. So, Grand Blue is probably my favorite clan to play right now. And I love the whole toolboxy drop zone. And especially Night-Rose. I love the whole combo between Night-Rose and Grenache, where I can, for milling 3 cards, I can countercharge up to 4 times. And I love that whole mechanic. I also like how budget that deck is. I think total that deck probably cost me maybe $80, not including... I didn't need extra strides of some of the more expensive ones, but to make it more consistent, it definitely helped getting them. But even without them, I still had a formidable deck, and I really like that. It's a pretty good deck for being pretty cheap. Plus, the art is so fantastic. I love that whole trial deck. All the art on that's fantastic, and let's see what else.
I think we've all agreed.
It's fantastic.
That Grand Blue has made it into our top 7. All right, so now we're at the funeral round where we bid adieu to clans that just aren't going to make it.
Yeah. Maybe Dimension Police, but other Dark Irregulars and OTT can just get out of here.
So okay, let's go in reverse order there. So Oracle Think Tank, I will say goodbye to. Obviously, the reason that I have included Oracle Think Tank on the list is because that was my first ever clan. When I bought the Sakuya
successful
trial deck. No, there's no success in Oracle Think Tank. And then I kept trying to build Oracle Think Tank for quite some time. And they really only had a strong showing once for Battle Sisters. And
oh no, the Tsukiyomi deck was also a really good deck, and it was for a long time.
And let's honor Tsukiyomi deck as the first ever ride chaining deck.
Yes, and it still is one of the best ride chain decks ever. Probably tied with Aquaforce Ripples. But OTT, they've been subdued by Genesis. First off, second off, I don't know. They're just
Well,
not.
no, it's just that Bushiroad has decided to turn away from Oracle Think Tank. Their main mechanic kind of got washed out. It was originally hand size, right? You have a large hand, and that was it. And that just wasn't enough to sustain them as one of the core clans of Vanguard's, iconography and identification. Of course, we will always. Any Vanguard player
They'll hold a special place in our hearts.
Yes, but any Vanguard player who makes that real investment of actually watching all of the cartoons will have a special love and hold something in their heart for Oracle Think Tank, because that's also where we learned that the people who create the trial decks create them with a special love for the Vanguard player. And let us never forget that.
Okay.
All right, so
Bye-bye.
Dark Irregulars, I think. I mean, for me, Dark Irregulars and Dimension Police are kind of equal from my point of view, but you guys have definitely have a different view on these. I love Dark Irregulars just because of their theme of being, werewolves and demons and vampires and everything like that. But I actually was talking to a guy last night who his intro to Vanguard was Dark Irregulars, and it's because he took that quiz about which clan best represents you, and it told him Dark Irregulars. So he built, I believe he called it Blade Wings.
Yeah.
And he played that for a while, and he absolutely did not enjoy it because
that just shows the status that the quiz on that certain website, which I will not name that certain website, but it's just not a good website.
Either way,
don't listen to it.
Dark Irregulars is actually pretty difficult to play. Yes, it's all about soul charging and getting your soul up to a certain number of cards, but you have to be...
So are other clans.
Well, no. Yeah, I mean, obviously Genesis is all about soul charging as well.
So is Pale Moon, and so is OTT, and so they're not original.
The Oracle Think Tank has variations on that, but let me finish my thought.
My bad.
The problem with Dark Irregular soul charging is that you have to soul charge a lot. And if you are a very skilled player, you will be able to manage that as deck thinning and being able to then having a higher reliance on decking, top decking the cards that you need when you need them. But if you are an intro player or somebody who's just learning or a Vanguard generalist, it is way too technical of a method that you have to play for Dark Irregulars. It's just very difficult to learn the technical skills to be successful playing Dark Irregulars, and you're going to get trampled while you're trying to learn. And it's sort of that high level of technical capability that you need takes away from the fun of play, from my point of view. So that's, I think, in my view, that's why I would vote down Dark Irregulars versus Dimension Police. From the other point of view, Dimension Police, for me, I understand that people enjoy giant robot stuff. And, when I was 11 and 12 years old, Voltron was absolutely my jam. But I, even, what was the one where the people were on the giant spaceship from really long time ago? Either way, I've just never been.
Cowboy Bebop?
No, older than that. I'll look it up while you guys talk, but giant robots, I lost interest over time. So
But you won't with Gurren Lagann because it's Gurren Lagann. It's the best anime.
If I watch some Gurren Lagann and
it's like that Gold Paladin deck, it's the best ever.
Like,
if you don't like it, you're wrong.
I even tried to watch Eureka 7, and that's giant robots too, and I enjoyed that, but I didn't enjoy it because of the giant robots part. So, that was some weird stuff.
It was weird. It was really weird.
I need you guys to... All right, so Jack, what would you pick between Dark Irregulars and Dimension Police, or why would you vote down both of those?
I would vote down Dark Irregulars because they're just not an original mechanic. They don't really have anything going for them. They're a lesser protagonist clan than Shadow Paladin ever was, Link Joker ever was. They just have a similar to mechanic as soul charging as a lot of other clans that I already stated, and they're just not a cool clan in my opinion. Dimension Police I wouldn't mind seeing on the top 7 list, so I don't know what we're gonna do about that. But Dimension Police, I think they're really cool dudes because first off, I used to play a kind of poor variety of them at one point, and second of all, I think they've had their like place in the meta for such like they were kind of similar to some other clans. They were kind of an underdog clan, and then with the introduction of a bunch of other stuff, they managed to be top tier, and they have had their place in the meta for such a long time. And to kind of go from an underdog clan to being like a mainstay in the meta is something that I think is really cool. I think that's really necessary in any card game is to just kind of have variety, and that's it. And giant robots.
Giant robots. All right. I'm all right with letting Dark Regulars go, but I want to clarify that there's a difference in their mechanic, as in they build their soul up to reach certain numbers, and Pale Moon builds their soul up so they can call from the soul. And
They
then,
still soul charge.
yeah, well, I mean, soul charge is so general, though. It's like gold paladins are known for calling. Yes, or a lot of other clans, but like Grand Blue calls from the grave or the drop zone. But anyway, Dimension Police I do want to see on there because of they've had so many different really good decks and giant robots for justice. For justice. So
For justice.
All right, so I've got no support for Dimension Police. I don't see them played that often. I think that they're just big power bullying. I think they're kind of silly in the whole like you have like the airplane one and the car one. I think that all come together, much like your standard giant robot.
But
deal.
they also represent society because police brutality.
Yes, obviously.
okay.
And I'm certainly glad. All right, so if Nova Grapplers had made it on this list, my argument against them would have been that they did not sustain their theme through time because Nova Grapplers started out as literally as like wrestlers.
Right.
And then they switched to being giant robots. And I was like,
Giant
why?
robot wrestlers.
Well, but they're not, you know? So, I mean, I guess Dimension Police, have they sustained being robots the entire time?
Well,
For the most part, yeah, they're aliens, and Dimension Police are the robot police and the aliens that the robot police are hunting.
right. Although you see less of the aliens that they're hunting now, but that was the Zeals.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't really see them anymore.
but they definitely were a thing at one point. Okay, Wimpy Underling William, what's next?
So now we have 4 slots, but 5 clans.
Oh no!
So we need to
And I
figure
think
out.
I think the first 3. I personally, I think the final spot's going to be between Grand Blue and Dimension Police.
You know, I think I agree with you.
I don't think I agree with you guys, but what would we put
Really?
into number 4? My vote is
Number
for number 4. I would put Kagero.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Cole,
Yeah,
how
I
are you
agree
on
with
that?
It was Kagero or Link Joker for me, so I'm good with Kagero.
I'd say
Yeah.
Link Joker for number 5 for sure, though.
Yes.
Yep.
So, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have to explain why we make choices. The
I
reason
got
I
a
put
beach to get to, Will.
dude, whatever. I would put Kagero first because, as you said, it is the original control deck. So that's why I would select that. And then, so I think we all agree Link Joker will be number 5.
Yeah, just because they're now the new age control deck, and they're also they're kind of the iconic antagonist clan to play, which I think is something that's really important.
So for number 6, I would actually vote for Grand Blue.
Really?
I think
Ooh.
because of our arguments of the fact that it has that unique play style. And it's something that a number of different clans have to learn how to work around. That has given it some importance. Over Bermuda Triangle and Dimension Police, I would see Grand Blue come in at number 6.
I would say number 6 should be Bermuda Triangle, because while Grand Blue are kind of different in their mechanic and like how they play and how certain decks have to adapt to play against them, Link Joker clans also have to adapt to play against, and I think having both of those clans, like, I think that's just unnecessary. I think Link Joker does its job better and has had a stake in like the game as itself longer than Grand Blue's had.
All right.
So I would put Grand Blue either 7th or off of the list. Personally, I think Bermuda Triangle should be number 6 because
So how
of all
do you
the
feel,
arguments
Cole?
I said earlier.
I agree with Jack on the fact that I think Bermuda Triangle should be before Grand Blue, mainly because Bermuda Triangle I feel is more iconic and more looked after, like basically what we said earlier. And I
How
feel like
it's an annual tradition and caps off the year and is representative
Exactly.
of everything that's happened during the year.
Yep, and then the last time that Grand Blue got some support was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Besides the trial decks, yeah.
Besides Trial Deck and
No, it
Before
that was earlier this
Transcension.
year.
No, I know, but
Transcension of Blade and Blossom. Before that,
he's saying there's like nothing.
there was nothing.
All right, so the last comes down to Grand Blue or Dimension Police. From my point of view, I would still rather see Grand Blue over Dimension Police.
I agree.
So, what would you? So Cole
I think if
agrees
Cole
with
agree,
me.
I don't really. I mean, I'd rather see Dimension Police, but I'm okay with Grand Blue having the last
Why would
spot.
you rather see Dimension Police?
Just because I feel Dimension Police have had. I don't know. I feel like having Dimension Police would give us more variety in our list, I suppose, is the only reason.
Well, having variety in our list, that's not sufficient justification.
But we have to be inclusive to all clans and races.
Well,
All-
we have
Dimension Police lives matter, Will.
we have nobody from
Zoo.
the Dark Zone at all,
Or Zoo.
or Zoo.
Oops.
But we already have somebody from Stargate.
Yeah, we have Star. That's true. Okay. Yeah, but we also already have someone from Megalonika.
That's
Grand Blue
true
it
as
is.
well.
right. Go ahead. Grand Blue it is.
All right, we will settle on Grand Blue so Jack can get to the beach.
and swim with the Bermuda Triangle and Grand Blue units.
Isn't that sweet? And the Aqua Farce.
Farce.
So we may do this. Maybe we will make this an annual end of summer tradition and see how our opinions change year after year. But our current list for 2016 of top clans in Vanguard are number 1, Gold Paladin, number 2, Shadow Paladin, number 3, Genesis, number 4, Kagero, number 5, Link Joker, number 6, Bermuda Triangle, and number 7, Grand Blue. So, Jack, did
yeah.
you set up an email for the Drive Check podcast?
Yes, I did.
What is that email?
It's drivecheckpodcast@gmail.com.
So, if anybody has any commentary about our list of 7, which I will send out by Twitter from our drive_check Twitter account, feel free to send an email to drivecheckpodcast@gmail.com with your opinions, rationales, thoughts about what you think should be on the list or shouldn't be on the list. And we will talk about your feedback in a later episode. I think we are done for today. So if you guys get a chance, please go into iTunes, give us a rating and a review. Anytime, we greatly appreciate any time that you spend just going in and giving us a review, because it does help to boost our standings in iTunes to help people find our podcast and learn about Cardfight Vanguard, the game that we all love. And if if you listen to this podcast for other reasons, not because you love Cardfight Vanguard, go in and give us a review for that. We'll take
because you
any
like
and
us.
all reviews. Yeah, I mean, we're cool dudes.
Handsome.
We're handsome guys. At least 2/3 of us are. All right. So once again, our Twitter account is drive_check. My personal Twitter, if you want to reach me directly, is @washinthesink. And Cole, your Twitter is?
At Cole_McCune, COLE_MCCUNE.
And
Jack?
I'm at drive_Jack.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Drive Check Podcast. All right, so put my voice in your mind as Diva from Overwatch, okay? I will lend you my power. Let's get it on.
That means nothing to me, but is that a flavor text?
Anything to me either. Yes, it's a flavor text.
From what card?
It's a Dimension Police card.
Oh, Lord, they have the world's flavor text.